Heard empty offices could be used to help solve the housing crisis? It's not as simple as you might think. As Australia grapples with a housing crisis and a pandemic-wrought workplace shift that's left office buildings in major cities underused, a seemingly simple solution has been floated, converting those offices into apartments. But experts say such projects are few and far between in Australia for a reason, and creating affordable housing from office buildings is harder than it seems. University of New South Wales head of built environment Philip Oldfield said the fundamentally different requirements of office spaces and residential apartments posed a serious challenge. Offices are designed very differently to residential buildings. Title: Farmers demand compensation for beehive losses due to varroa mite response. Farmers in the New South Wales region of Hunter Valley are demanding compensation for the destruction of their beehives, which were part of the emergency response to eradicate the parasitic varroa mite. Without enough bees to pollinate crops, farmers report significant losses. For instance, Matt Dennis, a vegetable farmer, said his standard pumpkin crop of 10 tons per acre dropped by about 70%. Some farmers have also reported growing giant fruits and vegetables due to the lack of pollination. While the Agriculture Minister wants to continue the eradication effort, farmers are calling for help to adapt to living with the mite. How citizen science and artificial intelligence are helping uncover the secrets of the sea dragon. A collaborative research project called Sea Dragon Search, which combines citizen science and artificial intelligence, has revealed that the weedy or common sea dragon populations on the Great Southern Reef are genetically linked. The project involves hundreds of scuba divers taking photos of the sea dragons and using a machine learning program to distinguish between individuals and build a timeline for each animal. The findings of the project have debunked earlier theories that there were two subspecies of the sea dragon. The discovery has improved the understanding of sea dragon populations and their ecology, a unique species that is only found in Australia. Students using Minecraft to build healthier communities one block at a time. Primary school students in Melbourne are using Minecraft Education Edition to design and build communities where people are connected, active, and eating well. The Kids Building Future Healthy program is a collaboration between Monash University and Vic Health, with the best ideas to be pitched to local councils or state leaders. The program aims to get children to think about how where people live can impact how well they eat, exercise habits, and social connection. The most innovative student builds will appear on the Vic Health website, and 3 teams will present their ideas to local government leaders later this year. Title: Altona bids farewell to historic pier, incorporates remnants of timber in redesign. Altona's 135-year-old timber pier is set to be replaced by a modern version later this year, leaving locals mourning the loss of the old but welcoming the new design that incorporates elements of the historic structure. Parks Victoria is upgrading the original 400-metre pier as part of an $11.9 million state government initiative. The new 4.2 meters wide timber deck pier on a concrete substructure will include seating areas, low vantage points for fishing and boating, and more. The existing straight-lined pier will be replaced with a curved design and Y-shaped head to create a focal point for the beach community. Title: Legal battle threatens retirement of caravan park residents. Park residents at Kula Caravan Park are currently embroiled in a legal battle with park owners over property defects and unpaid site fees. The residents, many of whom are retirees, fear they may become homeless if they lose the costly legal battle. The group had accused the park directors of misleading them, and their statement was rejected by the Supreme Court. The residents have launched an appeal against the decision. The cost of the legal battle has exceeded the value of the land under dispute. The dispute has taken a heavy toll on the mental health of the aging residents. 0,000 students in Australia did not attend school regularly. Program to keep younger students engaged at school through real-world experience. Kepnock State High School in Bundaberg, Queensland offers a program called Integrated Pathways at Kepnock IP at K, which takes years 7 to 9 students out of the classroom and into agriculture, hospitality, health, and retail settings for hands-on learning experiences. The aim is to keep young people engaged and connected with school, particularly those who are at risk of becoming disengaged. Year 8 coordinator Danny Hibbert described it as a benefit across the board, with improved academic performance, attendance, confidence, and social skills. The program started as a pilot in 2022, which reduced truancy by 45%, and has expanded this year with 200 students applying for 30 places. Title: Husband and wife on trial for murder after 14 years of investigations. Description: a husband and wife are on trial for murder after 14 years of investigations. The victim, Shane Barker, was a licensed gun salesman who was shot dead at his home in Campbelltown in 2009. The Jordans, Barker's former parents-in-law, have been accused of murdering him, with evidence suggesting they disliked him intensely. Barker's ex-wife, Rachel Jordan, testified in court that the relationship between her and Barker turned toxic after their divorce. The jury will now deliberate the Jordans' fate. Hashtags. Title: Finding the right housemate online, tips from an older generation. Natalie Moore, a 55-year-old woman, turned to social media to find a housemate to share the rent. She had never thought about opening her house to a stranger before, but a recent increase in rent and the loss of her part-time carer's pension had left her with no other option. Moore admits that marketing herself online was not easy for someone of her generation, but with the help of her friends, she crafted a profile that would give her more choices. Experts suggest that creating a trustworthy and informative profile can make the difference in finding the right housemate. Title: New South Wales Police tight-lipped on William Tyrrell's 12th birthday. Today would have been William Tyrrell's 12th birthday, but instead of celebrating, his family is left with unanswered questions about the little boy's disappearance. New South Wales Police has remained tight-lipped on their theory surrounding the case, which shifted its focus towards William's foster mother, despite earlier ruling her and her husband out as suspects. Criminologist Xanthi Mallet has called for police to present their evidence publicly, given the enormous public interest in the case. As the investigation continues, the public waits for answers on what happened to the cheeky 3-year-old who loved Spider-Man and drawing pictures. Title: Annual Cockroach Cup ends in disgusting fashion. The annual Cockroach Cup in Karratha, Western Australia, had people gathering to watch cockroaches race for charity. However, the winner of the race gets more than just a cash prize, they also have to consume their winning cockroach. This year, Revive Raider won the race, and co-owner Simone McLaughlin ate the cockroach to claim the $1,500 prize. The event has been running for almost 30 years and is a fundraiser for the local Karratha Cats Football Club. More than 100 people attended this year's event, with 60 roaches auctioned off for the race. Traditional owners create map of country in bid to protect it from development. Indigenous traditional owners in the Northern Territory have created a map of the Roper River region covering 20,000 square kilometres to raise concerns about cotton and gas developments that could threaten important water and dreaming sites. They plan to present the map to federal ministers in Canberra next year to protect their land from potential damage. Melbourne artist Simon Normand worked with traditional owners to create a map highlighting the cultural connection between freshwater and songlines. The traditional owners worry that the government's new laws would erode their legal rights and limit their opportunity to object, and they are urging the government to listen to them. Title: Calls for sports voucher scheme to keep kids in the game. Families in Canberra are struggling to pay for their children's sports activities, as the rising cost of living makes it harder to afford. The ACT has the highest median cost of children's sport in the country, with families spending over $1,000 per year on average. The cost has become too much for some families, leaving children unable to participate in Premier Leagues and other activities. A voucher scheme, similar to those in other jurisdictions, could help to alleviate the financial burden, allowing children to stay in the game and reap the benefits of physical activity. Hashtags. A hired army looked like it would overthrow Russia's military, now it's all over. Here's how it unfolded. Over the weekend, the Wagner Group, a Russian mercenary force founded by Yevgeny Prigozhin, was set to launch a coup on Russia's military. The situation calmed after the president of Belarus got involved, and the coup was called off. Prigozhin had ordered his troops to march to Moscow from Ukraine, claiming it was a «march for justice» and not a military coup. He accused the Russian military of attacking his troops and hiding the bodies of 2,000 dead Wagner fighters. The Russian government opened a criminal case against Prigozhin, and Putin was briefed. Security measures were strengthened in Moscow, and military vehicles were seen throughout the city. Prigozhin's men crossed the border from Ukraine early on Saturday morning and entered the southern Rostov region. Prigozhin was seen sitting between two senior generals, one of whom urged the Wagner Group to reconsider. The situation ended without violence. Australia aims to take 2-0 Ashes series lead at Lords. Australia is heading to Lords, where they have won more times than any other away from home in Test cricket, for the second Ashes Test against England. After winning the first Test, Australia is confident, but England remains bullish and determined to win. The clash of styles from the first Test is expected to continue, with England playing bat-ball and Australia playing at their pace. This second Test is crucial for both teams, as Australia aims to take a 2-0 lead in the series, while England seeks to level it. The Lords Test promises to be another thrilling encounter. Title: Greek New Democracy Party wins landslide victory in snap elections. Greece's Conservative New Democracy (ND) party has won the country's snap elections, securing a comfortable parliamentary majority and a second term for Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis. Partial official results show ND with just over 40% of the vote, while left-wing Syriza suffered a crushing defeat with less than 18%. The migrant ship disaster in the western coast of Greece, one of the worst in recent years, did not affect the election. Mitsotakis campaigned on securing economic growth and political stability, while Syriza's Alexis Tsipras struggled to rally his voter base. The ND is projected to win around 157 or 158 of Parliament's 300 seats. Hashtags 11 injured as Cathay Pacific flight aborts takeoff. 11 people were injured on Cathay Pacific's flight CX-880 at Hong Kong's International Airport after the carrier aborted takeoff due to a technical issue. The flight from Hong Kong to Los Angeles was carrying 17 crew and 293 passengers. The injuries occurred during a precautionary evacuation back at the gate, when passengers exited the aircraft using 5-door escape slides. 9 of the 11 passengers who received treatment at hospitals have been discharged, the statement continued. Cathay said it sincerely apologized for the disruption to customers. Link. Former partner of ex-Premier Gladys Berejiklian charged with misleading evidence. Daryl Maguire, the ex-partner of former New South Wales Premier Gladys Berejiklian, has been charged with giving misleading and false evidence before the state's anti-corruption watchdog in 2018. The Independent Commission Against Corruption (ICAC) recommended the Director of Public Prosecutions lay criminal charges against Maguire over his denial of seeking payment for brokering a property deal. Maguire is also due to appear before Sydney's Downing Court on separate charges of conspiring to commit an offence in a migration scheme. ICAC will release its findings from Operation Keppel on Thursday, investigating whether Maguire breached public trust for personal gain. Title: Canberra households to face restrictions on interest-free solar loans. From July, only Canberra households with an unapproved land value of $450,000 or less can apply for an interest-free loan to install solar products, under changes to the ACT government's Sustainable Household Scheme. The scheme provides interest-free loans of up to $15,000 over 10 years for homeowners to help cover the upfront costs of installing energy-efficient products like solar panels, electric stove tops, electric heating and cooling systems, and insulation, or to purchase an electric vehicle. However, the number of households able to access interest-free loans for other energy-efficient products covered by the scheme is being reduced. Title: Australia takes control of embassy site after High Court dismisses Russia's bid. The High Court has dismissed Russia's attempt to prevent the Commonwealth from taking control of a site leased for a new embassy, citing national security concerns. Justice Jagat ruled that parliamentary law must take precedence and threw out the injunction. The Albanese government passed legislation last week terminating Russia's tenancy and claiming the land next to Parliament House as its own. The outcome of any future challenges to the law remains uncertain due to recent events in Russia. The case highlights the ongoing tensions between Russia and Australia. Pakistani-British teenager who died in Titanic submersible implosion wanted to break Rubik's Cube world record, mother tells BBC. Suleiman Dawood, a 19-year-old Pakistani-British teenager who died in the lost Titanic submersible alongside his father, was carrying a Rubik's Cube with him to break a world record. His mother, Christine Dawood, revealed this in an exclusive interview with BBC. Suleiman hoped to break the record of 3,700 meters underwater. He never went anywhere without his Rubik's Cube and had applied to the Guinness World Records. The young man died when the vessel suffered a catastrophic implosion during its descent to view the wreckage of the Titanic on the ocean floor. Commonwealth Bank outage leaves customers unable to access money. Customers of Australia's largest bank, Commonwealth Bank, were left unable to access their money or use online banking due to technical issues. Some customers reported cards being declined, direct debits failing, and issues with mobile and online banking. The bank's financial services arm, CommSec, was also reportedly affected. By 9 a.m., over 3,500 customers had reported issues with mobile or online banking. The bank apologized for the inconvenience and said it was urgently investigating the issue. Commonwealth Bank has more than 15 million customers, and its mobile banking app has 7.7 million users. Armed police arrest man following 12-hour standoff in southwest WA. Police have arrested a man in his 40s following a 12-hour standoff at his residence in Heppingstone Road, Brunswick. South West Police and emergency services were called to the scene at around 10 p.m. on Saturday night after reports of a domestic violence incident. The man refused to leave the house overnight, but he was eventually apprehended by armed police just after 9:30 this morning. The authorities are urging people to avoid the area, and investigations are ongoing. Title: Prime Minister Albanese labels aborted Russian mutiny a disaster for Putin. Australia's Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has described the aborted mutiny that shook Russia over the weekend as a disaster for President Vladimir Putin. Albanese received briefings from Australian government officials who had been closely monitoring events in Russia as heavily armed mercenaries led by Wagner Group boss Yevgeny Prigozhin attempted to advance on Moscow. The chaos demonstrated how internal opposition to Putin has been growing as the conflict in Ukraine grinds on. Putin's illegal invasion of Ukraine has been a disaster for both the people of Ukraine and Russia, according to Albanese. Hashtags